Tzadik Gimel Amid Beis. We're starting Tzadik Dalar Amid Aleph, but it's Tzadik Gimel Amid Beis. We're starting from Bishleima. Bishleima is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, around 10 lines in the bottom. Exactly 10 lines. Bishleima. Tzadik Gimel Amid Beis, 10 lines in the bottom. So yesterday we were learning 2 days what happened. The Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah, who came out of prison. I'm sorry, who came out of the Kalachayman, came out of the furnace. So there was a machlekes if they were castrated or because why they were servants to Sanhedrin. Now or Nebuchadnezzar, I'm not sure. It's Nebuchadnezzar. So Nebuchadnezzar wanted people to serve him and not people to be busy with kids. So he made sure that they shouldn't be able to have kids. They should only be busy with him. He didn't want they should have kids. That's one shot. Another shot is because they came out of the furnace, so the demand for Avodah Zarah, the stock for Avodah Zarah fell because they saw they didn't bow and they saw the Avodah Zarah as a false shamaisa. So what are we wasting our time with Avodah Zarah? So the whole demand for Avodah Zarah fell. It was a crash. No demand anymore. Yeah. Worse than Tesla. It went down faster. It says the Gemara over here, it's understood according to Manda that says that they were actually castrated. I know this is what it says in the pasuk, in the following pasuk, even the Satlam Bri Bevesi Ubechaymoisai Yod Vashem. It says, and I will give to them in the house, in the walls, a hand. A hand means that when people become older, not everybody. Some people, when they get older, they're getting younger. But when some people, when they get older, they have to lean on somebody. So Yod means to lean on the children's, hands. And B'Shem, and a good name, a name to last. They should have a name forever. Toiv mi banim evanis, even more better than the sons and daughters.
This emblem stands on top of
this.
I just saw that they have a.
Yad Vashem, right? Yeah. But here the pshat of Yad Vashem is Yad, the hand of the young children, who their fathers, when they become old, have who to lean on, and Shem a name. But so why did they give them that bracha? Because if you learn the pshat, it means they were castrated. So I understand they have to have better than sons and daughters. So the Eibush has to give them a bracha that they should have a name more than sons and daughters. What does it mean, sadis? It doesn't mean they were castrated. You're going to learn that pshat means that they made a mockery out of the whole Avodah Zarah. That the whole stock of Avodah, no demand for Avodah Zarah because they took out they saw the Avodah Zarah is a bunch of baloney. So if that's the pshat, what's the bracha? The Eibush is going to give them better than sons and daughters. They have sons and daughters of their own. They weren't castrated. They didn't lose their capability of having children, so they had children. It means that they did have children, but it's talking about their children died early. So the Eibush promised them that for the future, don't worry, you're going to have a name better than, even though now you don't have sons and daughters, but you're such tzaddikim that you're going to leave. The Eibush is going to make sure that you're going to be left with a name. In fact, my shame oilam etan lo yashel lo yikaris. What is this shame oilam that the Eibush is going to give them? Give him. Here it's saying b'lashon yachid. So he's referring to one of them. So he says, which shame? It's referring to Daniel. It was called on his name. Daniel was part of the group of 4. But we know Daniel was not thrown into the fire, like we learned yesterday, for 3 reasons. HaKadosh Baruch Hu had a reason, Nebuchadnezzar had a reason, and who was the third one? And he himself had a reason. HaKadosh Baruch Hu had a reason because HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, I want people to see Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, even though they weren't at that level of Daniel. Daniel is on a much higher level. To tell you, in their own schus, they in their own schus, they were saved. What about Daniel himself? Daniel says, he's serving me as an idol. Nebuchadnezzar bows to me. It says, what are you supposed to do with an idol? You're supposed to throw it in the fire, and you have to make sure it burns. So he thought, hey, I'm not getting out of this fire. I'm the Avodah Zarah. And the Avodah Zarah has to be burnt. So if they throw me in, I ain't coming out. I'm not hanging around over here. So he ran for his life. And then Nebuchadnezzar said, for me, it's going to be a busher. All the time I kept him as a god. Now I'm throwing my god into the fire. So he did also. Those are the three reasons. Anyway, kids, so we're going back to Daniel. So we find that Daniel's name is, what does it mean, a name? That we had a sefer from the Tanakh. One of the Tanakh, the Nevi'im, is called Nevi'im. Nevi says, let me talk about another Navi that officially it should have been under one name and it's written on another name. If you look in the Ezra, everything that talks about Ezra, who wrote it? It was Nehemiah ben Chachaliah. Why wasn't the Sefer Ezra called on his name? He's the one that said over the whole stories. Because he wanted reward. What did he do? Nehemiah ben Chachaliah was one of the greatest advisors by the Yavish. The Yavish was the son of Esther. He was a leader. He was a king in Persia. And Nehemiah, some Yerushalayim Dike Mensch came from Eretz Yisrael and told him, look, and that's Yerushalayim is a churva. Please, we need somebody capable of restoring the whole place. So Nehemiah ben Chachaliah, who's friends with the Yavish, he says, please let me go and restore Yerushalayim. And he went up. He mamished the infrastructure. He built a wall around Yerushalayim. He didn't take a salary for himself. He built up the whole place. But what did he say at the end? After he did it, he says, remember me, a God, for the good. He wants for a reward. Oh, for reward. He lost. What do you mean we lost? David Nami, Meimama. David also spoke like that. Zachena Hashem. What does David say? Remember me, Hashem, by the pleas of your nation. Remember me by your salvation. Says nah, David wasn't asking for reward. David Achmei, he was asking for pity. Just have pity on me. That's all. I'm not asking for no rewards. Rav Yosef said, what was the problem with Nehemiah ben Chachaliah? Why wasn't the name of Navi under his name? Because he spoke bad about the previous governors. So now, like it says, the first governors that were before me, he put heavy taxes on the nation. And he took.
That was the truth, though.
Yeah,
he said the truth.
But maybe they needed it. I don't know. He took from them bread, wine, kesef shkol maboyim. That's achas kesef shkol. After taking the 40 silver pieces, he added to the tax bread, wine. You know how it goes. So the mother, and one of the governors before Nehemiah was Daniel. Daniel Atzadik, a Navi. Look who, I don't know, he wasn't called a Navi, but Daniel was a great tzaddik. And he was one of the governors, and he's disparaging him also. He's speaking about him. How do we know that Daniel was greater than Nehemiah ben Chachaliah? It says in the pasuk, "V'isi ani Daniel Lavadi es hamara v'hanos mashach yemin leido es hamara." It says, I, Daniel, was walking with 3 other Nevi'im. I was the only one that saw this vision, this crazy vision. I don't know if I'm malach, but they couldn't see it. On the 3 Chaverim that were walking with me, they saw nothing, but a tremendous fear fell upon them. And they all ran in the hiding, the 3 that were standing with him. The people that were with me saw nothing. Who were these people that were with Daniel? The 3 Nevi'im. So he made a cheshbon. Look, I'm greater than Chagi, Chayu, Malachi. And they were Nevi'im. Nehemiah ben Chachaliah was not a Navi. So for sure, Daniel was bigger than Nehemiah ben Chachaliah. So I just want to tell you about Chagi, Malachi, Chagai, Chayu, Malachi, they had a mile over Daniel also. It says, they were greater than him, than the Daniel. Yeah. Yeah. They were greater than him, and he was greater than them. They were greater than him. They were Nevi'im, he was not a Navi. But yes, Daniel saw, had Ruach HaKodesh. So the answer is, Nevi'im means to be a shliach of Hashem, to speak to the Am, to tell them what to do. That he never had a shlichus from Hashem to do. Did he have Ruach HaKodesh? Absolutely. Was he a Navi? No. So that, but the other had shlichus from the Eibush that says, again, they should go and speak to the Am Yisrael. That's why they were higher. But he was greater than them. The Ihu Chazav, when it came to this tremendous matter, this vision, they didn't see it. If Chag Malach didn't see the vision, my time was. What's the reason that they fell into fear? Says even though they don't see it, we learn in the Gemara Pesachim, it says every person has a malach. It's different than a behemoth. So that's why a person is more probed to not get hurt by another share, because the malach is watching him. A behemoth gets a hit faster than a person. So here, the malach of every person, that malach that every person has, feels it. And that's the fear that they felt. From here we have a raya. Hi man mibis, afagav the loy chazim azoli chazim. Here we have a raya. Even this person that gets falls of fear on it, even though he doesn't see it, hits the muzzle.
That's why they run away.
So my takante, what happens when you feel such a fear? You feel something bad is coming. What should you do? Says the Gemara, linshu miduchte abagamidi. Jump 4 amas. Inami, others say, if let's say you're not able to, likri kishma, at least read Shema. If you read, I think in the Mashor it says, if you read Shema till Echad, the first letter of Shema is Shin, and the last is Dalet, Shin. So when you say the Shema, it protects you from the Mazikim. Zaki Gemara, what's if a person is standing in a dirty place where you can't say Shema? So you say, let me say like this. You say, listen, whoever this mazik is, they go to the goats and the shlachtuis, they're fatter than me. Go, there's more to eat to damage over there. Look at the spelling. And if you look at the letter of Lamarbe, you see a Schlossman. It's a famous statement. It's a famous letter. Right in Lamarbe. Right, Lamarbe Hamisa. More Schlossman, the word is correct. And it's supposed to be a regular open man. Marbe Hamisa, a lot is the authority. L'shalmein kates and to peace, there's no end. Omer Rabbi Tanchem, Dorish Papa Kapar B'Tzepedim, Mipnei Makol Mem Shebhem Teva Pesuach V'Zesasim. Why? All over where you look, in the middle of a word, you'll see the mem is open. When it comes to this, Marbitz with a Schloss mem. And think about a big Shakam Shbarach Las is Chizkiyo Mashiach. They still wanted to make Chizkiyo Mashiach. V'Sancherev Goy Gomogeg. And Sancherev should be the Goy Gomogeg, the last war, the last Amalek that we're going to fight. Sancherev, David still wanted, he should be the last one. Midas Adin Lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Midas Adin says in front of Hashem, what are you doing? You're Bein Yisraelim. David Melech Yisrael Shama Kama Shidas V'Sish Bas Lefanecha Lo Yasis Mashiach. David Melech Yisrael went to many wars. He didn't want to make him Mashiach. He didn't want to make the enemy the Goy Gomogeg. Look what he did. He said Shidas V'Sish Bas before you. He still didn't make him Mashiach. Chizkiah Shasisa Lo Yikolan Ismalolo. Chizkiah, who did these tremendous miracles. Now we learned yesterday there was a miracle that was done to Chizkiah. He was very ill. And he was about to die. Chizkiah, he was a Melch Yehuda. It was divided. Chizkiah was Melch Yehuda. It started from the Shlomo HaMelech. Shlomo HaMelech had a son, Rechavia. He got so greedy, so they split up. And Yerub ben Nevat split up, took the 10 Shvatim, and Rechavia was only over Melch Yehuda. And that's how he remained for many, many years. So Chizkiah took over from Rechavia. He was a king of Yehuda, and he fell ill. And I think then, who was the Zechariah might have been the Navi at that time, and he came to tell Navis because he's not having children. That's why he didn't want to get married. He didn't want to get married because he saw he's going to have a child, Menashe, who's going to be a Rashi. He didn't want to get married. So David that's why. So he says, if that's so, then if David wants I should get married, I want to right now get married. I want to get healed. Give me your daughter. He tells Navi, give me your daughter, and he married his daughter. And he got healed. That was one miracle. And the other miracle is that Sancherev came and took over the 10 Shvatim, and he says, look, I'm on a winning streak. Let me go for the last one, for Yehuda, Chizkiah Melech Yehuda. And he came, and you had this guy, Rav Shokeh, he was a terrible person. He cursed Hashem. And he says, I don't care how much you're going to pay. You guys are dead. We're here. Look at our army. You don't stand a chance. Don't let Chizkiah, he was talking to the people, don't let Chizkiah convince you otherwise. You guys are finished. Just come out, surrender. The Melech Ashur will exile you out of Eretz Yisrael, but we'll let you live. And Chizkiah went and davened together with the Navi. Not sure, I think it was Yeshaya Navi, and they went to daven. And Yeshaya came back. He says, Hashem says you have to do nothing. Tomorrow morning, the war is won. You're not going to even have to throw an arrow. And they wake up 185,000 were dead, were dead and left all kinds of spoil. It was a tremendous miracle. So he's saying, look, all these miracles happened to him, and look, Hashem did you all these nisim, and he still didn't say shit in front of you. You want to make a Mashiach? This is the Satan saying. Midsadin. You're right. It says Midsadin. Okay, you're right. Let me see if 12, but I think it says Midsadin also. As Midsadin, I'm not sure. Malashira. It doesn't say. Okay. So I think it's also Midsadin. Okay. And that's why it was closed off. That's why you have a schloss. The mem was closed. It's shut. The opportunity for him becoming Mashiach. Yeah. Immediately the earth opened up and said, I'll say the shira for this tzaddik. Make Tzidkiah Mashiach, please. We want Mashiach now. The earth opened up and then it started saying Shira. Never like it says in Yeshaya, Miknaf Haaretz, from the corner of the earth. Zmina Shemayim. We heard Sheminas. Tzvi la Tzaddik, and it's the wish for the Tzaddik. And let's now move on, make a Mashiach. The Sar of the world, the Malach, who takes the commissioner of the world, whatever you call this guy. No, Sar Oilam, the Malach that takes care of the world, said before the wish, the will. I say, let's make this tzaddik for the Chizkiah for Mashiach. Yotz Baskol Baskol came out and said, the secret is mine. The secret is mine. Why he's not going to be Mashiach? Didn't tell him why. Navi, the Navi Yeshaya said, Oili, woe is to me. For this, that the Chizkiah didn't become Mashiach. Oili ad Masai, till when will Mashiach be withheld from coming? What does that mean? Till there'll be tragedy after tragedy. The Yidden are going to have to go through a lot of turmoil. It doesn't say how many.
The first churban.
The first churban, yes. Yeah. It's no churban yet. There was no churban. Before the first churban. Yeah. It says by Yeshaya, Maisa Duma Eli, I couldn't even say it. It says that the burden, and this is also, Duma is a malach that it has all the neshamas to it, all the spirits that come to it. They're calling me, Eli, these spirits are calling me from Seiya. Shema, the watchmen, the spirits are screaming out, Mamilila, Shema, Mamilil, what's going to be with this darkness? When will this gullah stop? How long the spirits were screaming? Because they wanted back. They want to come back into the gufim. Rabbi Yechon said, that malach of Duma, Duma Shmai, that malach that takes care of all the ruchis, meaning the neshamas after they leave the guf, they're called ruchis. That malach in charge is called Duma. All the ruchis came to Duma. Watchman, what's going to be with this galus? Watchman, how long is this galus going to hold back? There's going to be light. There'll be a Beis Hamikdash, then there'll be darkness again. And he says, if you want Shuvei Soyu, if you want that it should come the Geulah immediately, then you have to be Mevakesh Achmim, daven, and do tshuva. And then you'll hasten the Geulah faster. Rabbi Papayas learned, it was a genai, it was sort of a disgrace for Chizkiah and his followers that they didn't say Shira till the earth had to open up and say Shira. Never like it says in the pasuk, Miknaf haaretz min shamayim. From where do we hear the Shira? From the corner of the earth. That's where Tzvi la Tzaddik. That was the wish of the tzaddik. He wanted it should the wish was for the tzaddik to become Mashiach. Similarly, we find that the words of Yisrael, after he spoke to Moshe about the miracles coming out of Mitzrayim, Baruch Hashem, bless Hashem. Asher hitzah eschem miyad Mitzrayim miyad parei. Tanu Moshe Rabbi Payis. U'ganai ol Moshe v'shishim ribui. That was a ganai for Moshe and the shishim ribui, because the Yisrael came out of Mitzrayim and nobody said the word Shlo Yamar Baruch. Nobody said Baruch. Ad Shabbat Yisrael Yamar Baruch Hashem.
What does that mean?
It means it was a ganai that the Yidden should have. They sang the Shira about Nishkim Baruch Hashem, who was the bench in the Eivishn.
Shira is a Baruch Hashem. Shira itself is cool.
It says over here that Baruch Hashem should have been the beginning.
Should have added the word Baruch Hashem.
Yes, he learns that Baruch. That's more important than regular Shira.
How are you, Baruch Hashem?
Yeah. Okay. BH. Okay, but Yichat Yisra was happy. It says when he came to Moshe. Rav and Shmuel, the machliks between Rav and Shmuel. Rav Moshe have a cherev chadav. Sorry, he did right away. He took a cherev and he did the mitzvah milah on himself. It's chamal given. Shmuel Amar. Yeah. On himself, that's pretty hard. Shmuel says Shanasa he had goosebumps, all over his flesh, because they killed the Mitzrayim, and he was still a guy. He's a convert. This is what people say. Till 10 generations later, don't be mavaza going in front of a ger till 10 generations after, and that's why he had these goosebumps, Yisrael, when he heard that the Mitzrayim were killed. Okay, Zak Yimad Alechen Yishal Haladan Hashem. It's why Mishman of Ratzon. It says, but therefore Hashem should send, the master of Hashem should send the lean in the fat. My ben Mishman of Ratzon. Amar Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Yavi Chizkiyahu sheish leishmoni shemes. Let Chizkiyahu has 8 names to him. V'yipara and win over Misancherev sheish leishmoni shemes, who has 8 names too. Chizkiyahu. It says, there was a child born to us, a child given to us. And there was the rulership over his places. He was he had a burden over him. He was a ruler. They called him the Wondrous Council.
You're talking about Chizkiyahu, son?
No, Chizkiyahu himself. The powerful one. Aviyad, the everlasting father, Sar Shalom, the Sar, the minister of peace. In fact, so far you had Pella Yoitza El Giber. That's the 2, 4, 6, 8. Pella Yoitz El Giber Aviad Sar Shalom. In fact, but you have Chizkiyahu's 9th name. It says Chizkiyahu. It's not a name. Hashem was mechazik him to be able to stand up against Sanhedrin. It's a pirush. It's not a name. Another pirush. He was mechazik the Yidden to learn. You'll soon see later to learn Torah the whole time and get closer to Hashem. Sanhedrin d'chsiv. Where do we find about Sanhedrin? Here's going to be a bunch of Goshen names. I don't even know what it is. Tiglas Pilasa, Pil Ne'esa, Shalman Esa, Pul. Sargon. Okay, Asnapa Rabba Yakira. But he has also named Sanhedrin, which is the 9th one. So it's not a name. It means that he always had sichus to confrontation. Another pshat that he cursed Hashem. So why was Sanhedrin given a name with such description? Snapper is revered. Hagadol, the great, the why did he deserve such a name? He didn't speak bad about Eretz Yisrael. Like it says, when Sanhedrin, through Rav Shaki, tried to convince the Am Yisrael should come out and we'll give you a land. He says, your land is not bad. I'm going to get you to a land like your land. So he didn't disparage Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael he kept it at a good name. So that's why his name was respected. Rav Shmuel Chad, there's a machlik Rav Shmuel Chad Amar Melech Pikei Chaya, Chad Amar Melech Tipish Chaya. The machlekes, one says he was a smart king, one says he's a tipish. Mandi Amar Pikachaya, according to Mandi Amar, that says he was smart. If he would say, oh, I'm going to bring you to a land better than the land that you are in, Amru Mashkart. They're going to say, you're a liar. There's no land better than Eretz Yisrael. Everybody knows. How could it be a land better than that? That's why you had to say, like the land. According to the one that says he was a tipish, he says, what are you telling me? I'm settled in a land, and you're telling me you're going to bring me, I'm going to travel now for 10 years, and finally settle me in the same land. Well, what do I have to lose 10 years? I'm here already. What do you have to take me there? So that's why they consider him as a tipish. If you wanted to make it desirable, you should have said it's better. So to where did he exile the Yidden from the 10 Shvatim that were in Eretz Yisrael? To Africa.
Friends in Africa.
Yeah, Rabbi Chanina Amar Lahari Slug, to the mountain of Slug.
Jews are still in Africa?
The lost tribes.
Ethiopians, Abu Yisrael.
Well, that's why there's Jews there.
Yeah, Abu Yisrael. The Seres Hashvatim. Sipru Begnus Shel Eretz Yisrael. I don't know. Sipru Begnus Shel Eretz Yisrael. But the Yidden themselves spoke bad about Eretz Yisrael. Kimatu Shoish Amrei Shavi Kiyarim. When they came to Shoish, so they said, "Oh, Shoish is like Eretz Yisrael, similar." Shoish, yeah. Kimatu Omim. When they came to the place Omim, Omo Kil Omim. They said this place is like Yerushalayim, which is called Beis Elamim. Kimatu Shoish Trei. When the people, the Yidden that came to the city called Shoish Trei, Amri Achat Rein. They said this land is twice as good as Eretz Yisrael. So the Yidden themselves disparaged Eretz Yisrael. So you might have.
Everything is better than
When he came out of Mitzrayim, so they went straight to Israel.
Yeah, but Melech Hashur exiled them later, and when he exiled them, every country he didn't want they should know what their surroundings to be able to attack him. B'tachas kveida yikat, it says under his covered yikat, it should burn a fire. It should be a flame like fire. So the machlek sav amaray amar Rabbi Yochanan tachas kveida v'lo kveida mamish. Covered means beged, means the begodim of a person. Tachas kveida, under the begodim, means the guf. So it means that the guf was burnt, but the begodim stayed whole. Where do we see covered is referring to begodim? Because Rabbi Yochanan called, we would call the begodim, that's what gives me the respect. So that's the begodim is the covered, and the guf is a separate thing. No, tachas kveida mamish. Tachas kveida means the guf is covered, and under the guf is neshama. So he says, where do we see that? Safe is Nayarin, like the burning of Aaron, the children of Aaron. Malahala, and just like over there, safe is neshama. They was talking about neshama was burnt, but for guf kaim, the guf stayed whole. Afkan over here, it was similar. Safe is neshama. It was the burning of neshama of guf kaim. Not like the first piddush that the guf was burned and the begodim stayed whole. The second piddush is no, the neshama was burned, the guf stayed whole. Like, not about here. Huh? The neshama flies up in the air. We spoke about it. No guf. No. So it remains a guf. It remains a guf without a neshama. A lifeless body. Like when somebody... That's what guf means, a lifeless body. Tanim Mishmei Rabbi Yeshua ben Kocha, Parei shechiru ba'atzmei, Parei who cursed Hashem himself, Nifra HaKadosh Baruch Hu mimanu be'atzmei. Hashem himself punished him. Sanhedrin shechiru al yedei shliach. Sanhedrin who cursed Hashem through a shliach, Nifra HaKadosh Baruch Hu mimanu al yedei shliach. Hashem punished him through a shliach. Parei d'chsibei, mi Hashem Hashem b'kelei. When Moshe Rabbeinu said, let the Yidden out of time, our God said so. So what did Parei say? Mi Hashem, who's this Hashem Hashem b'kelei? That I should listen to him. He was making fun of Hashem. Hashem took care of him himself. Like it says in the pasuk, Hashem himself shaked up the Mitzim b'Sirayam, like he was cooking a pot over there. Steering a pot. Hashem trampled in the yam over their horses. He went to Ravshakeh, and Ravshakeh, he sent Ravshakeh to curse Hashem. Ravshakeh says, your God cannot save you. And he was making fun of the God from the Eden. The God from the God's Welt. So Hashem says, just like he's sending to curse to a shliach, for me it's beneath me, I should even touch him. let my shluchim kill him. So a malach that night, when he answered, Yeshai answered Chizkiah, don't worry, you're not going to have to lift a finger. They're going to be killed before morning.
What actually happened?
They used to send them out and he killed them. They found 185,000 dead. That's a fast one. Rav Chanina bar Papa Rami. Oh, soon. Rav Chanina bar Papa Rami. Rav Chanina is the steal from Psukim. Ksiv Meroin Kitze. In one pasuk says, Sanhedrin barimt. He was bragging that he's going to reach to where Hashem dwells on the heights. That's here in this world. And then it says another one, Meloin Kitzai. What's this? And which one is it? It's Meraim or Mekain? So it says, you want it like this. At the beginning, he's going to get rid of the Makim Hashchina, that's here Lamata, the Harab, which is on the Harabais, the Beis Hamikdash. Then I'll go up Lamaila, and I'll take care of him Lamaila, he thinks. Oh, that's Chacham. Rabbi Shimon Levi said, what is this that's written? Ato, now, without Hashem, he says, or you're hoping for Hashem, Alisi al Amakim Hazay, that is going to come on this place, Lashchisei. Hashem Amalai, I said, you think I'm coming up? Sanhedrin says, you think I'm coming up to destroy you on my own? It's Hashem. Hashem Amalai, Alei Elohar Tzazei Vashchisa. Hashem said, Sanhedrin is saying through Rav Shakeh, I'm not coming on my own. I'm coming b'shlichus from the Eibishter. The Eibishter told me to destroy you. What is this? Well, of course, Sanhedrin heard the words of the Navi. The Shav Navi Dikama, he heard from the Navi saying, Yanki Masa Amazab, being that this nation is sinned, right? They didn't listen to the Mei Hashiluach Harichem La'at, to the Mei Hashiluach, which is referring to the Chizkiah, the king, who was a tzaddik. Umishoish esitzin uven Remalyahu. Umishoish esitzin uven Remalyahu. And they followed Ritzin, who was the Melech of Edom, and Pekah ben Remalyahu, who was the king of Yisrael. They followed these Yishoyim. So being that you follow the Yishoyim, the Eibishter says, okay, that's where you're going to end up in their hands. Rav Yosef says, if not for the Targum on this pasuk, I wouldn't know what this pasuk is talking about. Chalav the Kotz Amma, Adim b'Malchusa, because the was made a mockery out of the Malchus based David. The Medabel Ahain bin Yoch b'Mei Shiluch the Nagda bin Yoch, who leads the Klal Yisrael in a calm and a good way, which At means in a calm and a good way. And who did they follow? Ritzin, who was the Melech of Aram, Upekach ben Remalya, the Melech Yisrael, who was a Rasha who was the king of all the other Shvatim. So the Eibishter said, because of that, that's why you're going to be destroyed. Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan said, what is this that says in the Pasuk? Hashem Beis Rasha, Hashem's curse in the house of a Rasha, Unaveit Tzadikim, but in the dwelling of Tzadikim Yevarech, it's going to be blessed. Meidus Hashem Beis Rasha said Pekah ben Remalya. The curse of Hashem in the house of Rasha is referring to the king. Pekah ben Remalya was the king over the 10 Shvatim. He would eat 40 pigeons, bikinur suda, just to at the end of the a dessert, to eat. Very good, he said it right. A dessert as a dessert. He was hungry. He had to start over the meal again. He was still hungry.
When he had, kind of an appetite.
Yeah, he had a hole in his stomach the whole time. But on the way, Tzadikim Yevarech, look, Zechizkiel Melech Yehuda, who's the dwelling of Tzadikim is blessed. Zechizkiel Melech Yehuda, Shaya Eichel Lita Yerek, Bisuda, he ate a little shear of vegetables for the Suda, and he was full, he was good to go. The other one needed gas. He was a gas guzzler. You had to fill him up, and there's I don't know, there's a leak in the gas tank. There's a leak in the gas tank, yeah? And therefore, because you guys disgraced the Chizkiyahu, I'm going to bring on you the strong waters. And the masses of waters says, Melech Ashur, who is that? The king of Ashur, with all his followers. Then they're going to come and surround all your borders. And then it says he came to Yehuda, shot up over Atzav Yagia. He overflowed, it went, but till the neck. So why did Sanhedrin get punished if it all came from Hashem? Hashem wanted it. So you want a Navi, I said a Shvatim is Navi. The whole Nevi'us was only on the 10 Shvatim. But he said, I'm not satisfied just with south. Now I need North Yerushalayim, I got to go take, I'm sorry, he took care of North. Now I'm going to South Yerushalayim, I want to take care of Chizkiyahu and that land of Yerushalayim. But Yeshaya Navi said, hey, he says that those that are tired out from learning Torah that you want to oppress, you're not going to be successful. The Am who's tired from learning Torah is not going to be given over biyad mi hametzikloi, in the hand of the one that wants to oppress him, oppress Chizkiah and the people. What does it mean? At the beginning, it went like light. So it says Atzes Zvulun, Atzem Naphtali. He had a whole plan. He conquered. It went smooth. He took Zvulun. He took the land of Naphtali. Va'achrein, Hichbid, and the last one, he went by Derech Hayam. Eva Hayadin. He took Ruvain and Ruvain and Chatzi Shevet. God, Ruvain and Chatzi Shevet Menashe on the Transjordan, on the other side of the Yarden. But the Achreinim, which means Yerushalayim, when he had to come to the Americas of Eretz Yisrael, which is Yerushalayim, the center, there the Oil HaTorah, which was heavy on those people that lived in Yerushalayim, and they were fitting for them a miracle should happen, like those that went through the Yam, meaning like when the Yitzis Mitzrayim went through the Yam. So Ukadei Chayadin, like in Yeshua's time, who went through the Yarden. He says, So the Eibishter said like this, through the Navi. If Sanhedrin backs off of Chizkiyahu, Mutav, he'll be fine. He'll stay king. But in Lav, if not, I'll turn him into like number 2. It'll be such a mockery. He'll lose the war. He's going to be left standing without his pants. Where do we see that? After these words, so what happened? Sanhedrin came, the king of Ashur, he came to Yehuda, and he rested around the strong cities. Besieged the cities. And he says, now we're going to go through. He says, do we give such a bad matana to such tzaddikim who keep the Torah? So Ravina answers, what is he referring to? If the Hashem jumped and swore, the Amma, he says, if I'm going to tell Chizkiah that I'm bringing in Melech Ashur to be destroyed, that I'm bringing over Sanhedrin to your city to give him over in your hands, what is he going to say? He say, I don't need him. Don't bring me Sanhedrin. I don't need his terror. Just don't bring him here. So, yeah. Immediately, the Eibishter made a shvur. He says, that's not why he's going to be given in your hands. The Eibishter said, I made that promise that if he enters Yerushalayim, he's going to die. Nothing. You're this chusim are not being deducted. If not, Nishba Hashem tzvah is lame. Im loy kasher the misa came hoisa. Kasher yaatzli hisakim. Lishba Ashur ba'atzli al arav abusana. V'sama aleim ulei v'sbolim al shikna yasur. The Eibishter swore that when, like I advised, I'm going to break Ashur in my land, on my mountain. He's going to, all his people will be like food in a trough. Will behemoths come to eat out of the water? That's where and the yoke will be removed from you, and your plate says from you, from Chizkiah and his people. Sanhedrin with his whole group will come. The Yasa Ebus, the Chizkiah with Siyase. Their bones are gonna turn into like water in a trough, where all the behemoths come and ask him. He says their bones are going to be like piles of bones that the Susim from Chizkiah and their followers are going to come eat off the bones.
Sticks in the water.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's talking about the 185,000.
The 185,000 that will kill in one night, yes. That they're going to be full of bones like in a trough for the animals of Chizkiah and his followers to have what to eat. So it says over there, that day the Eibishter will remove the yoke from your places. And the yoke from your necks, and the oil, the yoke will be removed because of the oil. The oil will be removed because of the oil of Chizkiyahu. What's the oil? He lit up all the base Bati Knesses and Bati Midashes with candles. So what did he do? He stuck a sword at the entrance of the Beis HaMedrash. Whoever's not going to be Yitz B'Atera will be Yishtachim, will be stabbed by this sword. They checked these people from dawn till Beis Sheva, but they couldn't find even one Amoritz. Allah is given Lamdonim. Mikvas v'ad Tifas. From the names of the Hayoris are the Gevulis of Eretz Yisrael. You couldn't find a man, a woman, or children, girls and boys that shouldn't know the hardest halachas of Tumah B'Tara. So that they're going to only need a calf with 2 sheep. They'll be there, they'll have thousands of vines or thousands of silver pieces. But it's going to be only for the thorns. It's only going to go for Hashem V'Hashayis. Because they don't need anything. They don't need the money. We're going to have to stop here.